Here at Native Music Enthusiasts, we love the Native American wood flute, and we love creating compositions that 1. Help you build skills, 2. Increase your musical toolkit, and 3. Help you improve as a player. If you're interested in learning new techniques and new tricks that perform better, as well as seeing new compositions, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get all of our videos in your home feed as soon as possible. Thanks for checking us out. Hi, I'm Enoch Chapman, and this is my etude number 15 for the Native American wood flute, focusing on the lower hand, entitled Chromatic Cognizance. If you want to stick around at the end of the performance, I'll talk about some teaching instructions that might make this piece a little bit better, but for now, please enjoy this work. Thanks for watching our performance preview. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up to show us your support. Plus, subscribe to our channel and that will get our videos into your home feed as soon as they come online. Now, on to the performance notes. Okay, so for performers, we're keeping those 2 tones that we've introduced in the last 2 etudes, those 2 new chromatics, and we're just going to combine them together into like a crazy little exercise that allows you to see how they can be utilized quickly and how they can be utilized in passages that are going down, going up, and neighboring. Now, in terms of like the chromatics, right, we've been using the minor pentatonic scale so long. But now we're introducing these chromatics. So now we have We have now 6 tones where we were originally playing with 4, and it's including those chromatics is going to give you a little bit more colorization, a little bit more creativity, a little bit more accentuation to where you want to play in your expressive abilities, which is really fun, and can be really cool inside of your tool set, inside your toolkit of expression. Now, these chromatics really do kind of enhance the idea of descending and ascending as well as neighboring thoughts. So the chromatics that you see here are used in like descending passages or ascending passages. You're having a little bit tiny as you go down, so you get this kind of chromatic idea as you're descending. That allows you to see how the chromatics can work. You also can see them in ascending passages. That the way that you can see, okay, here's how I can make a color go up. The big thing with chromatics, though, is their neighboring stuff. Is which note do you want to emphasize? Like in the key of the A flute, your upper lower hand note is the E. Do I want to emphasize the E? Do I want to emphasize the D? If I emphasize the E, I can emphasize the E by adding that second tier chromatic. And all of a sudden now I have this really kind of cool feeling of an emphasized note that just, wasn't really emphasized beforehand. It could have been very boring, da 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 da, but now I'm doing da 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 da, and that gives you a lot of different feeling of, okay, cool, here's a note that I can emphasize, or here's a note that means something. However, I could also emphasize the D in the same way, right? So instead of doing the upper tone, I can now emphasize the lower tone. And all of a sudden now I have a different direction that I can emphasize in based upon which note do I want to, which note am I trying to really bring out, which note am I trying to convey. So chromatics are great because they allow us to kind of emphasize. This song, however, is all about trying to get those chromatics into your fingering repertoire so that you can understand where they come from as you're playing the flute, so that I can now say, okay, cool, I want to do this chromatic, these notes are here. Now I'm going to emphasize, this note here. Now I'm going to come down, de-emphasize this note, and it allows you to build up your dexterity within your fingers, so that as you're covering the flutes, as you're covering the holes, as you're covering the flute up and playing and performing, that you're able to emphasize and express what you want to in the right ways without you having to think about it too much. So that's where this song comes in play, and it's really kind of speedy, fast understanding of where the chromatics are, is to help you build your finger dexterity so you can implement them wherever you want to implement them as you're expressing the music that you want to express. Okay, so for teachers, this one's a little bit trickier because now we're talking about the 2 new tones that we just introduced in the last 2 etudes to combine together. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, we're introducing 2 chromatic tones, the 1 1/3 and the 2 chromatic tones inside of the standard, minor pentatonic notes that we've been playing the entire time. So this new chromatic tones come in this type of color, right? That's your pentatonic. Now you have this as a chromatic, and you also have this as a chromatic. And those 2 new chromatic tones are being played repeatedly over and over inside of this piece. The problem is, it's also being played over and over inside of 16th note runs, which 16th notes are hard enough as it is, but introducing chromatics into 16th note runs becomes incredibly tricky, incredibly crazy. And that's really the idea behind this piece, is to build up your finger exercises, build your fingering abilities, so that you can now incorporate chromatics inside of a very interesting idea as you're playing and as you're expressing. So this is nothing more than exercise in trying to get you used to chromatics, whether it is that upper chromatic or that lower chromatic. It's getting used to those chromatics. So in the key of A, or the key of A minor pentatonic, we're talking about the 4 notes that we know of: A, C, D, E. Those are the 4 that we've been playing. And now the chromatics are A, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Where do those come into play? who knows in this song. They are all over the place. And sometimes they come in as a C sharp and a D sharp, and sometimes they come in their enharmonic tones as an E flat or a D flat, depending upon the direction and depending upon the emphasis. So this is a good way for you to kind of incorporate the discussion of enharmonic tones and what those pitches mean with your students as you're trying to explain this piece. It's also really important to note that I'm not trying to just put chromatics in anywhere. I'm not trying to do really crazy skips or really crazy jumps. What I'm trying to do is get people used to playing chromatic pitches in a faster way possible to lead to these certain notes. So that's important to note, that this is nothing more than a fluid concept of trying to get your fingerings down so that you're doing descending scales, you're doing ascending scales, and maybe neighboring tones. So those type of ideas are really what covers this entire concept of the song, is the idea that chromatics really kind of help allow us to add color, add kind of expressive idea to a dissension, to an ascension, or to a neighboring thought in terms of how I can perform something. Thanks for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up, because that's going to tell us what type of content that you really like. Also, if you want to see tips and tricks about how to play the Native American wood flute better, or watch more videos about new compositions that will help you increase your musical toolkit and help you improve as a performer, then subscribe to our channel, because that's going to get our videos into your home feed as soon as we release them. Finally, we couldn't do this without our Patreon community. It's with the support of our patrons that we're able to compose new works and create new content like this that gets out to people who are interested in learning about how to better play the Native American wood flute. We love the Native American wood flute, and we love being able to create new compositions to help people improve and get better. And it's because of people in our Patreon community that we're able to do that. If you want to learn more about our stuff on Patreon, visit patreon.com/native music enthusiasts to see what we're doing and see what we're trying to give back to people who want to help support us. Thank you again so much for watching this video, and we hope you learned something.